Kyle, pleasure to be speaking with you, dude.
Thank
Um,
you. You too.
dude, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of questions about this movie, and I'm probably not going to help with all the ones that I have. But first and foremost, how do you feel? Because I mean, we've seen the headlines. I'm assuming you've seen the buzz for the past year or month or so,
Mhm.
however it's been long. How do you feel right now?
It's been a whirlwind. It's been incredible. And just ever since the month leading up to the theatrical release, it's been insane. So, like, it's been a culture shock. Like, I told my boyfriend the other day, because I've had like a few nights where it was just so overwhelming. I almost had like a mini panic attack. And so we were talking about it, and I said, everything that a filmmaker dreams that would happen to them has happened to me in the span of just a couple months, except for like winning an Oscar, right? So it's been amazing.
Well, hey, no, I mean it's dude, that window's closed for this year at least. But
Mhm.
I gotta ask you, the name. What
Mhm.
on earth does the name mean? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so I was watching an old Elizabeth Taylor movie, and in it, um kids were singing Skinamarink at a children like a birthday party, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. I always thought it was an original song by a children's entertainment group from Canada called Sharon Lewis and Bram, which I grew up listening to. So I Googled it and found it's actually quite old. It's from turn of the century, and even it may even be a traditional song that goes farther back than that. So no one really knows technically where it came from, I think. So it batted around in my head, and I thought, okay, so it feels personal to me. It feels personal to other people. It invokes childhood. It's nonsense. This will be a great working title. And it just stuck. So,
And so let's talk about the film now. It's told from a
mhm.
child's perspective. It's shown from a child's perspective. Uh, how did that come to be? Like, where did the idea for the concept of this film really come from?
Yeah. So I've been asked that a lot. And like there's so many different things that go into a concept of a movie, and even like really personal stuff that I can't get into. But a big driving factor was years ago I started a YouTube channel where people would comment nightmares they've had, and I would recreate them, and people kept commenting iterations of the exact same nightmare over and over. I'm a little kid, I'm in my house, and my parents are missing, and there's a monster, and that just kept coming up. And I thought, okay, this feels like a universal thing that we all experience. Maybe I could turn this into a movie. And it has gone through different iterations in my mind, and other things had influenced the feelings expressed in the movie. And then as far as the look, I always wanted it to be from a kid's perspective, because we don't really see little kids in movies, right? Like usually, like the youngest we usually see is the children in it, who are like preteen teenagers, right? So I thought it would be more powerful if it was really, really young kids who really didn't know what they were doing. And yeah.
Now, the movie doesn't have like a concrete explanation. It's one of those that you got to sit on for a while and you can walk away from it with your own interpretation. I've got my own. Took me a couple of days to sit on. But what are like, is there like a definitive story that happens, or is it something else that we're
Yeah.
watching unfold?
So at the heart of it, and if you pay attention, this is shown, there is formally a very concrete Hansel and Gretel esque story that's fairly evident. As far as interpretations, like what is the monster, what's happening in this scene, what's happening in that scene, I had an idea in my mind for a lot of it. Um, but even in regards to that, there's a handful of scenes in the movie and ideas in the movie that I just sort of wrote down. It was like I was kind of channeling something when I was writing it. So there's a lot of stuff in the movie that I don't even know the answer for.
Interesting.
Like there's one particular scene at the 45-minute mark that when I wrote it, I had like a vague idea of how it would start, how it would, but there's stuff in that, like, I don't know why it's happening. It just came out. So
Is there a crazy, or like, what is the craziest theory that you've read or heard from someone you spoke to that's seen the movie that you like even you said that you didn't even think of while you were shooting?
So I've tried to avoid the fan theories, just because number one, that's their space, right? I don't want to intercede in it. But the other day, I finally broke down. There was someone at, I think, Slash Film wrote a comprehensive, like, here are a bunch of the theories from comments. I think most of them were comments pulled from my YouTube channel, which I haven't even looked at in a long time. And the theories are amazing. And like I always wanted people to do stuff like this, like watch the movie and say, this is what it means to me, this is what it means to me, this is what it means to me. And a lot of, like, all of them are, I think, equally out there, but also equally valid. I would say one really interesting thing, one that I saw, and I'm not going to confirm or deny, and it was right at the end of the article as we have to include this, but this one's a little out there, was the, like, what if the director is the monster, right? Like, what if Kyle Edward Ball is the monster and he's the one hurting everyone? I thought that was so interesting, too, because, like, it invoked other things that I've seen in, like, in The Birds, there's a scene where they're in the diner and the woman is looking at the screen and saying, you're the one who's doing this ever since you show, and she's talking to Tippi Hedren's character, but she's looking at the audience, so it's as if she's angry at the audience, right? You could also say maybe the audience is the monster in this movie too, right? Like, yeah, every theory is valid.
There's so much to talk about.
Oh, and I
Yeah.
want to say one more thing. So as far as what the monster is, I do have a concrete in my own mind for what that is. I'll never say what it is, but I haven't seen a ton of people comment that particular thing, but I've seen a few people come very close, but I haven't dived deep into the theories either. So
I only have time to fit in one more quick question.
Mhm.
So the movie, congratulations, has made its budget back and then some, right? Over $1 million. Congratulations on that once again. This is an overnight success, as we've touched upon. What's next for you? Have you gotten any offers? Talk to me.
So I've gotten a lot of offers from very cool people, and that's been an incredible thing too. I've done what's called, people will either call it the water bottle tour or Uber Roulette, but you go to all the different production companies, studios, etc. And I've done it all through Zoom, and now some people call it the Zoom tour. And I had a few ideas. I fell out of love with them. I have this other idea kicking around, and it's been weird with it. But then just last night, I'm like, what if I did it this way? And then stuff just started clicking weirdly. So I do have an idea. I'm going to keep it close to my chest because I was speaking with someone at a production company that I will not name, who I told I have an idea, and he said, Kyle, don't tell me what it is. Just keep it to your chest. We'll just talk about it when the script is done and we'll go from there. So I'm going to do that. Hopefully I can start writing it soon. My plan was originally to write it by now, but because the release got bumped up, I haven't had time. So yeah, stay tuned.
Kyle, once again, congratulations on this massive success, and I cannot wait to see what you do next. Good luck.
Awesome. Thank you so much.